Hello once again, everybody. We are already in Unit 7 and we're starting to shift our focus towards PowerPoint. So let's take a look at the Unit 7 assignment. As always, we're going to start within our Blackboard course within the Unit 7 page because that's where our assignment is. And we will be taking a look at the step-by-step guide here. And as always, let's take a look at the grading rubric because, as always, it is important to know what all the criteria that you're being evaluated on, what those criteria are, and how all of your efforts are broken down into points. So for this one, we're creating a title slide, and then we're going to be creating 4 content slides. So 5 slides altogether, 1 of them being title, 4 of them being for content. And let's take a look at our assignment instructions. Once again, because we are taking a look at PowerPoint for the first time, we do have some step-by-step instructions as well as some screenshots in order for you to be able to see what all of these slides look like and what your particular slideshow should look like up until each individual point in each step. So with that, let me move this over to that screen and open up a new PowerPoint presentation on this screen. So when I open up PowerPoint, just like it does with Excel and with Microsoft Word, it's going to ask what kind of presentation I want to open. So I'm going to select blank presentation. And when I do that, it's automatically going to bring me to a title slide that's going to have a section here for title and then a section for subtitle. Each of these individual sections are kind of distinguishable by a little dotted line here. As we click within there, we'll see that we are going into a cursor so we can begin typing, and I can do that in either one of these here. So we have default font types, we have default font sizes. For this one, the title of our presentation is automatically defaulted to Calibri Light headings with a size of 60. And our subtitle is Calibri Body with the size of 24. And we can see that right here within the font command group. A lot of these particular things should look very similar to the way that they do within Excel and the way they do within Microsoft Word. Obviously, some of our command groups are going to be a little bit different because the functionalities of PowerPoint differ, but the way that we can edit and format our fonts is going to be the same across all of these different programs. So hopefully that should look familiar to you. And then looking at our instructions, we have already completed step 1, which was to open a blank presentation. And then for step 2, let's see, we are actually at step 3 already. So it says click to add title, type the following words into this area. Resources available to post-university students. So like I said, we can click within that area and we can write resources to post-university students. And I think I actually forgot one word here, so let me add available here. And that aligns me with our instructions. So resources available to post-university students. And then in step 4, it's telling us to click on add subtitle, which is right here. We're going to click that and we're going to add our name. And obviously mine is Elton Dean. For you, you will actually write your first and last name and then click on enter. That will bring us to the next line and add post-university resources. And that actually does it for our title slide. And at this point, you should be looking at the step 4 screenshot, and your presentation should look exactly like the screenshot there. In step 5, we're going to add a new slide, and the way to do that is within the Home tab here. You'll see the Slides command group, and there's a drop down for new slides. So we can click that drop down, and these are all the different types of slides that are available. We have a title slide, title and content, and you can see here all the different types, and there is a preview of what each of those slides will look like when you click on them, and we want the one that has the option of title and content, and that is right here. So we have our title and content slide. We click that, it automatically adds a new slide for us. And once again, we do have already formatted or already preset formats for our font types and our font sizes. This is going to come in when it comes to taking a look at what your presentation looks like versus what the assignment guide looks like, because different versions of PowerPoint will default to different font sizes, different font types. As we go into our next step, it wants us to click on the part where it says click to add title, which is right here. And we can copy and paste the following from the assignment guide. So I'm going to copy that here, and I'm going to paste it here. And what it wants us to do is to do a paste text only. And this should look fairly similar to what it does in Microsoft Word, where we have the paste options, and then we have our different types of pasting. And if we do where it says keep text only, you're going to see here that it automatically has a relatively large format, and that's because, as you can see within the font command group, we have a size of 44, where the assignment guide, if you take a very, very close look at the assignment guide and you take a look at the font command groups, you can see that that is using a size of 18. So I personally will accept either size 44 or size 18. There's no criteria within the assignment guide that specifically tells you that you need to change it. It only says that you need to use a paste text only. So if you use your paste text only, which is right here, and that pastes into the slide title, and you have Calibri, sorry, that's a tongue twister a little bit for me, Calibri Light headings, size 44, I will absolutely accept that. If you did want to change the size of a format, let me show you how to do that. We can do that by clicking anywhere in here. Will actually allow us to continue typing. You'll see our cursor. So we could select our content manually, or once we click in at one time, you'll see somewhat of a dotted line here around our text box. If we click right on that, it turns into a solid line, and that will change everything within that. So from here, we can go to size 18, and you can see that it is automatically changing the font within it. Let me show you the other way. Once I click into that text box one more time and I highlight it, I'm going to change that back to size 44. And then we can see that it is automatically changing it to size 44. If I were to only select part of it and change my size, only part of it is going to be changed. So now when I click on my text box and I click on the outside, we're going to see a size 18 plus here, and that's because it's telling me that the smallest size is 18, and then there's some additional sizes here. So I can actually go into this drop down one more time, click on size 44, and this is actually where I'm going to leave it, because this is what your presentation is going to look like if you were to use the paste text only. So the next thing that we want to do in step 7 is to align our slide title towards the center alignment. And the way to do that, just like we did with formatting our font size, we can click on our text box to select the entire thing, and we see that solid border, which means that the entire text box is selected. We go to the paragraph command group here, then click on the center alignment, and it will align us to the center. Within step 8, it wants us to add our text here, and we're going to copy and paste this information from the assignment instructions. And I want to do this a couple of different ways so that you are seeing how to overcome some of the things that you may experience. So I'm going to copy this. Let's see here. Let me make sure I'm starting at the right line here. Here we go. Let me just bring that over here. So within the assignment guide, it is asking us to copy and paste this content here. As we saw within one of the Microsoft Word assignments, we had some content that crossed over to a new page, and we had some footer information that right here does not look like it's selected, but it will transfer over. So with this copied, I'm going to paste this into my text box here. I'm going to go to paste and keep text only. And you can see that this is going to look slightly different than the assignment guide here. So the assignment guide has 2 bullets and they're broken down. And it's important to make sure that you're looking at what you have in your presentation versus what the assignment guide looks like. And we might need to do a little bit of troubleshooting in order to make it look the way that it's supposed to look. So what's happening here is that when we paste it, let me show you this one more time. When we paste into Microsoft PowerPoint, it's actually recognizing each one of these lines as its own distinct bullet instead of taking this paragraph and recognizing. So let me try to grab just the paragraph. Instead of recognizing this paragraph as a bullet, each line is being recognized as a bullet. So that is why we are having a bunch of bullet points here. And it's fairly easy to correct. The first thing I want to do is get rid of my footer information that we don't need, and that is within these 2 lines here. So we can actually select those, click on backspace, and that is going to get rid of that footer information. So we want this right here. These first 3 bullets are going to be the actual first bullet. So we can do that by putting our cursor right in front of the O and clicking the backspace. And we're going to do that one more time for this line here. And then we're going to do that for the second one. So the second bullet is going to start with continuing its promise. So we want to get rid of these 4 bullets here. And we're going to do that the same way. Put our cursor right before the letter that starts off that line. And I know that this may look a little bit complicated now, but as you do this a couple times, you'll get the hang of it and see that it's actually not that difficult to navigate through. So that is what our final slide should look like. And once again, this can be either size 44 or size 18 for me. I don't have a preference. Size 18 will look like the assignment guide, and size 44 will align with the instructions within the assignment guide. So as I said, once again, that is perfect, and this is what our content should look like. 2 different bullets, one of them starting with according to post-university website, and the next one starting with continuing its promise, and we have gotten rid of the footer information that transferred over. And that concludes that particular slide here. The next thing that we're going to do is go into step 9, which is to insert another new slide. So we're going to do that by going to the slides command group, clicking on new slides, and we're going to once again add a title and content slide. And we are going to name this one the Center for Academic Success. So I'm going to copy that from my assignment guide, come in here, and I can do that from pasting from the clipboard command group, or I can do a right click and keep text only. And we want to make sure that this is centered as well. So selecting once again the outside of the text box so that we have a solid line, and then clicking on the center alignment. we should be able to start progressing through this a little bit faster now. Let's see. So step 12 is to add this text. So let me get all this selected here. And we bring that over to show you what it is looking like for you. So once again, with step 12, we are crossing over into a new page. I do have all of this content selected. Now I have it copied, and this footer information is going to transfer over. So I'm going to go into the click here to add content, and I'm just going to press on Control V this time, and this is going to paste it as one big paragraph. So this is where I need to take a look at, hold on one second, I just clicked on the wrong thing and moved my assignment guide. So this is where I need to take a look at our screenshot and make sure that our screenshot looks exactly like our slide looks. So we have 4 different bullets that we're going to be formatting here, and we can do that by identifying where each bullet starts. So the first one is according to the Post University website. The second one is starting with the quotation marks. So if I were to just press enter, that's automatically going to add a new bullet. The next one is starting with if you feel like you're struggling. And let me find that. So if you feel like you're struggling, and while I'm doing this, I do want to point out that all the content of these slides is exceptionally important for you to know, because these resources are here to help you, and that's why we're using these as the content of the slides. And the Center for Academic Success is an extremely amazing resource for any students that might need one-on-one counseling, that might need help with writing, or that just need a little bit of one-on-one tutoring. So I do recommend that if at any point during your academic journey you feel like you need some academic help, the Center for Academic Success is definitely the place to go. And our last one is going to start with the Center for Academic Success. So it's a little bit tougher to find this within a big paragraph, but we can find that here. And of course, the faster I try to find it, the harder it is to actually find it. So here we go right here. The Center for Academic Success is going to be our next line. And the last thing, actually there's 2 more things that I need to do. The first one is to get rid of the footer information, which is a lot more hidden when we use this approach. So we're going to get rid of this right here. And we want to make sure that we have our content formatted exactly as our slide does. And the last thing that you can see is that we do have a spelling recommendation here. It's saying that it doesn't recognize on one as one word. So I can actually click on that, and I could add a dash right there. Or what I could do is go to our review tab and go through spelling. And this should look, again, much like it does within Microsoft Word and Microsoft Excel. And this one is actually telling you that it doesn't look exactly like the assignment guide. So what we want to do is just add a dash here, and that should be perfect. So within step 13, we are going to add a new slide. And that's going to be back in the Home tab, New Slide, Title and Content. We'll start going through this a little bit more quickly. This content is going to be for the Treurig Library. So we are going to paste that using Keep Text Only. I'm going to select the text box, go to a center alignment, and then we're going to go down to our content. And I'm going to select the content, which as you can see here does not cross over to a new page, so it's going to be a little bit easier for us to paste this information and format it. So I'm going to paste that, and I'm going to use the Keep Text Only. And once again, you can see that when I used keep text only, it's identifying each of the lines within our PDF document as a different bullet. So as we look at our screenshot, we can see that we're actually supposed to have, and let me just show you real quick what that looks like. We're supposed to have 3 bullets here. So the first bullet is going to start with according to the Post University website. The second bullet is going to start with all online resources. So that's right here. I'm just going to click one time. It creates a little bit of a space here. That way I know that that's where my bullet is. And then the next one starts with Post University. So this is another way to do it. And you can see that as I start increasing the amount of content that I have, it's automatically going to change the size of the font in order to fit all of that content. So from here, I have my 3 sections identified, and I'm just going to click the backspace before these portions and get rid of the extra bullets. So that first one is done. The second one is done. And the third one is done. The third one is about to be done, sorry. My brain is going faster than my fingers are typing here. So now we have our 3 bullets. We can see that we have a little bit of extra space in between each bullet, so we can actually just click on that line and click the backspace 2 times. One of them will get rid of the bullet, the second one will get rid of the line, and now we are properly formatted to look just like our assignment guide does. And from here, we are going to add our last slide, and we can do that once again by going to New Slide. This is also going to be a title and content slide. We're going to copy and paste Counseling Center. And we are going to align that to the center. Now we're going to work on our content. And this one does not cross over to a new page, so once again it is easier. I'm going to use the Control V here just so I don't have to go through all the individual lines, because we only have, as you can see here, we only have 1 bullet point that we need to worry about for this one. So it's actually easier to use a Control V for this particular one. And that pretty much wraps up that part of it. So we can see that we have our 5 slides. And as we go through the grading rubric, it's going to ask us if the content is correct, if everything is centered. So as you go through this, you want to make sure that we have our title of our presentation here, that you have your first and last name and post-university resources. And then within each of the slides that we have a center-aligned slide title, and then bullets that are properly formatted according to the assignment guide. And we have all of that. So I'm going to save this by going to the same way that I've done this with Excel and with Word. This part of it should look the same. I'm going to go to Browse, go to my desktop. Hopefully this is all looking familiar for you. And I'm going to go to my post-university folder because that's where I save all of my post-university work. And I'm going to go into the CIS110 folder because that's where I save all of my CIS110 work. As I do for all of my assignments, I'm going to use 3 different components to name my assignment. So CIS110, Unit 7, Assignment. So I have a course number, a unit number, and a descriptor. I'm going to press Save. Now we can see that the autosave is on. Our document is in a saved status, so I can close out that. Let me bring this over here, and I'm going to minimize it real quick and show you once again within our post-university folder, which everything keeps opening up in the other page. We have our CIS110 subfolder, Everything is neatly organized. We have our, starting with Unit 2, which was our first workshop, and down to Unit 7, which is our current workshop. So we have everything properly formatted, properly named, our components are aligned, and it's really easy to find our content. So as we go here, we are going to go into the Unit 7 assignment, and let me click on Unit 7 assignment here. This is our assignment upload area. Once again, browse local files is if your assignment is saved on your computer, on your desktop somewhere, and browse cloud service as if you have it saved to a cloud or saved to OneDrive. Mine is on the computer, so I'm going to go to my desktop, Post University, CIS110, and then go down to my CIS110 Unit 7 assignment. We can see here that it is attached. I can press submit, and as you've seen hopefully in the past, you will have a conversion in progress that will end up resulting in an assignment preview. And then this is where you can check your grades and see that it does need grading. You can also check your email to look for your confirmation that you submitted this assignment. And before I finish this up real quick, I do want to take a look at PowerPoint within the web version. So if you click on click here for Office 365 from your student portal, it will open up Office 365. PowerPoint is located here on the left-hand side. You can open up a blank presentation. And we're going to see here that once again, just like it did within the desktop version, it is automatically opening up a blank presentation that's already formatted for a presentation here. So I'm just going to do this really quickly. I'm not going to do all the content for the sake of time. So we have our first slide pretty much done. Obviously, you need to make sure that the actual title matches the title of the assignment guide. But I do just want to make sure that everyone is aware, if you are using the web version, what this actually looks like as far as adding slides and content. So right now we have a truncated ribbon, which means that it is kind of abbreviated. But if you go down here to the bottom right-hand corner of the ribbon, and you see this little down arrow, which says switch ribbons, when you hover over it, clicking that will expand your ribbon so you can see all of your descriptions. And then from here, you can see your slides command group. You can go to new slides, and then we also have our themes here. So title slides, title and content, and then once again, it's going to add your text boxes already and your content boxes for your title. So let's go with, let's do that really quickly. So we're just going to add SOAR. Obviously, you want to make sure that this aligns with the content from the assignment guide. And I'm just trying to do this as a quick way of showing you how to use the web version. Within your paragraph command group, we have our alignments here. We have our align left. We have our align center. We want to align this to the center. If you were looking to change the text size, we do that again. When we have our cursor, we can select the words using our mouse, or we can click on the border. This one does not have a dotted line while the cursor is active. So we just need to click on the outside, and we can see by these little circles all around the border that we do have the entire text box selected. And this is where we could change our font size if we wanted to. Once again, I want to make sure that everyone knows that I will accept either size 18 or size 44. And I do want to point out that within the web version, this is defaulting to Calibri Light as opposed to Calibri Body. So the way that it defaults is perfectly fine. We have right now size 18. I'm going to go to size 44. And then that is going to basically look the same as far as how we're adding our slides and how we're formatting our slides within the web version. So I hope that you did find this helpful. I know for a lot of you, you are using PowerPoint for the first time. Please feel free to reach out to me. If you're in another instructor's course, please feel free to reach out to your instructor and ask for help. You can also use the instructor drop-in office hours. I also recommend attending the assignment workshop this week if you need help with it. And all of us do want to help you succeed. And I know that there are a lot of new steps here, but hopefully if you follow this video and go through the step-by-step guide, it should be able to help you succeed in walking through these assignments step by step. So have a great week, and I look forward to working with everyone. Take care.